So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and time for another top of the tree. So this time we're going to be looking at the best light tanks at tier 8, and I'm not talking about damage or anything else, but doing the job that light tanks are really designed to do, which is assistance damage, spotting damage. So that those annoying little shits that fly around the battlefield spotting you, allowing other people to smash you up or hiding themselves away in a bush and you can never find them, and their friends are still smashing you up. So there are actually, believe it or not, only 8 tier 8 light tanks in the game, both premium and tech tree light tanks. So we might as well show them all. So we'll start with 5 up to 1, then we'll do a bit of gameplay, and then we'll do the bottom 3. A couple of surprises in here, I think. Firstly, I think so, but of interest to see what you guys think. And yeah, let's get cracking. So at number 5, according to VBAddicts, across the last 30 days across all servers, the 5th best spotting or assisting damage light tank at tier 8 is this thing, the Chinese tier 8. This is WZ132, very popular because it leads on to the very good tier 10 Chinese light tank. A lot of people seem to like that. I'm desperate to get there myself. 64,826 games over the last 30 days, averaging 635.11 assistance damage across all those games. And it's it's an interesting little tank. It's a mixture of spotter and battle tank, I guess. It's one of the reasons why it's quite popular. The gun on it is very good, 100mm, 7.69 rate of fire, 189 penetration with standard rounds, 225 with premium, and 250 average damage. Dispersion, like with all the tech tree lights, is awful, 0.4 because they don't want them sniping from range, and aim time of 2.3. Very, very good indeed. There is also another gun, well, in fact it starts with the 85 and goes through 2 variants of the 100mm, but both of them pack a bit of punch and a bit of power. Concealment values, well, let's see, it's not the best in the West, shall we say. So I'm getting 29.78. I've got pretty much a full camo crew, just one of them isn't full, paint on the thing, and a camo net. So, you know, not even cracking 30 shows that this thing isn't the best stealth monster. But it's okay. I mean, my classification of this thing is it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's part scout, part active scout, part battle tank, part active scout, and it kind of does the role of all 3 reasonably well. 700 horsepower engine, 28.5 power ratio I'm getting in this, 64 top speed, which isn't the fastest by any means. Traverse speed is an excellent 64.5. So it's nimble, gets around well, is a good let's say very much a combination beastie between a battle tank, a light tank, a spotter, an active spotter. View range is, well, I'm getting 475 with mine. I've got binoculars, and well, binoculars are giving me the best there. So what's that, 370, something like that, 370, 380, so nothing special. But anyway, that is number 5 in the chart. So at number 4 for top average assistance damage dealers in light tanks at tier 8, according to VBAddicts across the last 30 days, is the Russian tier 8, the LTTB. 62,230 odd games, 658.4 assistance damage on average per game. This thing is one of the ones that, a bit like the previous one, this one was tier 7, wasn't it? It was bumped up to tier 8 as part of the changes to light tanks, and it's always kind of featured a really good gun. Very limited gun depression on it though. Let's just have a quick look at this thing. So oops, 285mm guns, 11.1 rounds per minute, 170 penetration is not actually that brilliant. 216 with premium rounds, 180 average damage, but the dispersion's not bad, 0.36 compared to, what was it, 0.4 with the Chinese version, and 210 aim time, sorry, 2.1 aim time. So it's not, since it bumped up a level on terms of tiers, it's actually not as good gun-wise as it once was, but it's still not bad. Mobility-wise is excellent. You're getting 770 horsepower engine, 33.95 power ratio is very good, 68 top speed is very good, traverse speed 50.06 is okay, so pretty meaty. 15 camo value without any kind of skills or camo on the tank, so yeah, that's okay, nothing special. And base view range is 380, which for a Russian is pretty good. So it's a bit of a I guess it's an average sort of light tank, nothing special, nothing bad. Bad thing about it for me was the gun depression. -5 is just horrible, but I know a lot of people don't have a problem with that, so that's why it comes in at number 4. So number 3 is the German tier 8 light tank, the Hawk 12 HWK 12. This thing, ugly little bleeder, isn't it? It's got a rear mounted turret, obviously, and it's, I don't know, I think it's a bit of an acquired taste maybe. I mean, the gun's quite nice, 90mm gun, 7.79 rounds per minute, 180 pen is very nice, 250 with premium rounds, and 240 average damage is nice. So it's giving a DPM figure of 1870, which for a light tank is very good. Dispersion is excellent, 0.36, and aim time of 2. So this is more capable of being a bit of a snipey tank than some of the others we've seen so far in the charts, and you know, kind of that probably is why it does so well. Mobility wise, it's okay, nothing special, nothing bad. Only a 450 horsepower engine, but that's large, you know, that helps because it's only, what, 13 tons or so in this vehicle, giving it a 36.01 power ratio, which is excellent, 65 top speed, which is okay, and 45.89 traverse speed. So fairly nimble, good gun. Concealment values, a bit like the others really, not that spectacular, only 16.6. So I mean, it's quite a chunky looking monkey, looks like a, I don't know, it's had a bit of a nice good dinner or something. It's got a bit of a tum like me, very nice. But excellent view range, 410 base view range. I mean, that is just awesome. Is that really? Wow, that's high. Yeah, because I haven't got this tank, so this is purely on the preview screen. 410 base view range. Wowzer, that is something else. So, you know, this thing excels really as an active scout. Rushes around causing mayhem. 27,000 games, 27,700 games, 697.18 assistance damage per game on average, according to VBAddicts. So yeah, nice little scout. So the second best scout tank light assistance dealer at tier 8 is this thing. It's a premium tank. It is the American T92 light tank. Quite a good looking vehicle, I think, for a light tank. Very, very nice indeed. It was introduced earlier over Christmas, I believe, if I remember rightly. Features a 76mm gun, fairly standard American gun, 13.3 rounds per minute, 175 pen, 210 with skill rounds, only 150 average damage, so it's about volume of fire rather than damage. 0.38 dispersion is excellent, aim time is even better of 1.8. Very nice indeed. Yeah, really pokey little thing. So view range is also very good indeed. So I'm getting 500 with mine, but it's base 400, is that right? Yeah, it must be base 400. Wow, very nice. Concealment values, it's very sneaky. You can see here I've got a virtually full camo crew on mine, plus paint, plus net, gives me 45.59% spotting ability, so I'm getting +3 for the camo, plus 10 for the net, plus 11, so it's 21, 24 off that, so 30, 28, basically base of 28 or so is where you are with this thing, which is very, very good indeed. It's small, so you'd expect it to have good camo. Mobility wise, it's also very, very good indeed. Lightweight vehicle, only 17 tons, 660 horsepower engine, giving 38 power ratio, which is very nice. Doesn't have the top speed of the others, only 60, but that's still pretty good. Gets up to that very quickly and maintains it well. 57.37 traverse speed is also very good indeed. So it's a good little spotter, proper old school scout. I think is the way I'd categorize this one. Best at concealing and trying to spot things while passively scouting. 41,926 games, averaging a very healthy 754.82 assistance damage per game. So that's your number 2. So this surprised me a little bit, I have to say, coming in at number 1 for assistance damage across all tier 8s, across all servers according to VBAddicts for the last 30 days, is actually the newest light tank on the block. This is the French Mosquito, the French Gnat, the ELC Even 90. This is the tier 8 French auto-loading light tank, and it is tiddly. It is absolutely minuscule, and I have to say it's one of my favourite tanks in the garage. I have either very good games or absolutely terrible games in it, but there's a lot of people playing it. Nearly 74,500 games in the last 30 days, 888.14 average damage assistance per game, which is very, very impressive indeed. And it's based around really its concealment and speed. Concealment values are just outstanding. I mean, I've got a full, have I got full camo? Nearly full camo, and with paint and with a net I'm getting 55.08 spot concealment. I mean, absolutely awesome. And let's see, what are we getting? 1.7. oh, I've got coffee as well. 1.7 for coffee, camo of 3, camo net of 10, so that's 14 and a half. Call that 15 with vents, 16, 50, 25, 33. Yeah, so it's about base 20 something, 28, something like that. And you can boost it up so easily, so easily, and this thing can do either role really well, and I think that's probably why it does so well in the numbers game, is that it's a good passive scout. It sits in a bush, and with that sort of camo values, as long as you don't fire, you can keep that you can keep hidden for an incredibly long time until tanks get incredibly close. But it can equally play the role of the mobile active scout because it has some speed as well. So it's very lightweight, 7 tons only 160 horsepower engine, 23 power ratio isn't the best, but top speed of 70, and it jinks around 56 traverse speed. This thing is nimble as hell, and being so tiny, being shot at from range while it's rushing around doing a mad psycho dash, it can survive an incredibly long time. Of course, if artillery or somebody firing HE even splash close to you, your armor is paper. What's that? 15, 10, 10. So when you get splashed by something, any kind of HE shell, it is very, very bad news for you, and you'll tend to get module damage, tracks blown off, engine knocked out, all kinds of things. And you've only got 800 hit points, so you're not going to last very long indeed. But it's a very, very nimble little thing, very good. The gun is the thing that I've seen a lot of commentators moan about. They seem to want everything in a gun. At the end of the day, it is a pure scout. Well, it is a proper scout, old school scout. Has an autoloader, 3-shell autoloader, 30 seconds to reload the complete clip, 2.5 for individual shells. And I think that's the biggest challenge with it, because it's only 3 shells. It only does an average of 220, which means your average is 660, even I can work that one out. And then you've got to wait another 30 seconds to reclip, which is a long time. And even with boosts and all sorts of things to your crew, it's a slow reload on this for not an awful lot of alpha. .75 penetration is also pretty good, and the dispersion says it's 0.38, but it is a lot worse than that, I think. And 2.9 aim time is pretty woeful. It does have a reasonable premium round, 215, but you know, this is a tier 8. It's going up against 10s all the time, so you know that gun is really not there. But as an assistant spotter, this thing is extremely good. 888.14 average spotting during the game is very good indeed. So without further ado, let's go out and take it out. Well, I won't take it out because I have hit and miss games like crazy. Let me bring you a couple of games, well, a game that I found that features this tank playing really well indeed. And to be honest, there's masses of examples of this, and I've featured quite a few on this channel. Yeah, it won't be any surprise to anybody to see this thing go batshit in World of Tanks. So we'll be back with the bottom 3 after this. Okay, so let's see the French Nat in action. This is I'm Pete, who's driving it for us today. It's a tier 9 game on Durpenberg. It's an assault game, and he is assaulting. He's platooned up with a couple of guys, one in the Progetto spaghetti meatball tank and one in the British tier 8 artillery, the FV207. Heading out towards the left wing, and he's doing some psycho zippy spotting. Look at that. Wasn't spotted himself? Nope, he wasn't spotted himself. Gets up onto the... oh, look at that, Emil. There we go. 1700 assistance damage already. You know you're onto a winner when the first, not even a minute's gone by, and he's already done that amount of spotting damage. So he's going to use the mobility of this tank to its full glory. And interesting, he's got binos. So I don't know whether he also features coated optics, but he's definitely got some view range on this thing. Heading out to the left wing here, getting as advanced as he possibly can, and geez, look at this. Having taken out that Emil that was rushing out this side, he seems to have got this area to himself. It's playtime. There's the Jag Tiger. Always someone who's sitting up there in an assault game. Spotting for his arty buddy, I guess. No shells yet coming in. Come on people, fire. Get himself into a nice bush. Oh, there's one, just to splash it. Jag Tiger is looking straight at him, so he can't really afford a shot. Trying to get forward to get eyes on that thing again. Got to be really careful. That tier 9 German TD can pretty much obliterate him in one shot. Was near as damn it. Still can't spot him. Oh, there he is. Now he spots him. One shot. Wow, look how close he can get. Oh, now he's spotted. He's stuck in the water. Look how advanced he's got. Mind you, the fact the enemy team have done nothing on this flank has really helped him. He can now just own this area, because he can keep popping over and spot everything. It's a very aggressive position he's got himself into. Wonderful, wonderful thing. Needs the art. Oh, just took a hit from Progetto. Look at that. That wiped out virtually all his health. That's the problem in this thing. Lost his driver and lost his, well, a large percentage of his health, shall we say. Needs that Jag Tiger to die. Doesn't want to push up too much because he doesn't want to get spotted again and taken apart by that Progetto that's up there on the hill. Now he can move forward a bit. Enemy ELC spotted. Not by him. He's done 2,900 spotting. There's the Centurion. Don't fire, don't fire, don't fire. Artillery raining in. You know, and a good scout, good passive scout like this, it's all about holding that fire discipline. Getting into the bush, be in the bush. There's the arty. Somebody takes him down. Another, oh, there's Brigetto as well. Oh no, that's Pantera being absolutely eaten. And he's not doing anything particularly clever. Well, he is, I suppose. He's got himself really well forward. Did a great job of spotting all the early beasties, and just has wrecked everything. All that object 268. Oh, got spun round as he tried to charge our way. 6,000 spotting. 6,500. Is that guy going to get caught before he's going to have to pull back? Going to have to pull back. Come on, someone take that guy. He's only on 100 health. Going to be almost in auto spot range. Oof. His buddy in the Brigetto takes him down. I bet there were some brown trouser moments there. Jeez. It's only his second shot fired. Got spotted. His buddy again takes him down. They're about to cap out, which is a real shame because they've got plenty of time here to... Ah, he's popped out. Good. Didn't realise he was the one creating most of the capture points there. Here comes the Centurion. Bit of revenge from the Centurion, but no joy. Just adds more to Pete's damage. Assistance is done. Now 9,500 assistance. Very good indeed. There's only 2 enemy tanks left. It just wrecked them. Not as in the bottom. He wrecked them as in played well. Takes down the GW for his actual first kill. Where is the final tank? There it is. He's not going to be able to take him down. But it does take him over the 10,000 spotting damage. And that's it. In 6 minutes, less than 6 minutes, he wins. Good game. So I am Pete. Had an absolute stonker, and I'm not seeing anybody get that far forward that quickly and have that much impact on a game. That was just awesome to play. I'm going to have to try that out myself. And that's the sort of thing you can do in a very speedy, lightweight scout like the ELC Even 90. Probably why it comes out so high in terms of assistance damage across all the tiers across the last 30 days. So he got an ace tanker obviously for that. He got spotter. He got scout and also patrol duties, so the whole gambit of light tank type medals. Finished up unsurprisingly top of his team, only 68 damage and 1 kill, 1399 base XP. Only fired 6 shots, hit with just 2 of them and only penned with 1. Well, there's that wonderful gun in action. But it's all about this. 10,000, well, nearly just shy of 11,000 assistance damage. 10,929 assistance. Absolute monster. And you don't need to do damage to get credits. Look at this, 150,000 credits. Because he didn't actually fire many rounds, he actually made 144,500 profit out of that game. And must have running some sort of is it running a booster? No, just for being in a premium tank and in a platoon. 2,500 crew experience for this thing. So that's the top assistance damage dealing light tank at tier 8. The French tier 8 premium light tank, the ELC Even 90. The French mosquito, the French gnat, the French cockroach. Call it what you like. It's small, it's sneaky, it's speedy, and it's deadly. In the right hands. So you've seen the best, let's look at the rest then, shall we? So coming in at number 6, so third from bottom. Bit of a surprise to me, but I think the reason why the Black Dog, the M41 90 Grand Final light tank, American tier 8 light tank, is so low is actually it's probably very high in terms of damage dealing. This thing is not so much a scout, it's more of a battle scout than anything else. This thing was introduced Grand Finals 2 years ago? I think it might have been 2 years ago. A really nice light tank, really good thing. It's obviously black camo. That's why people call it the Black Dog. It's basically a bulldog, but in German colours and with the Grand Final logo on the side. 50,000 games, 622.59 average assistance damage per game, according to VBAddicts across all servers in the last 30 days. It's a nice little tank, really. I think it's one of the ones that definitely benefited when matchmaking changed and light tanks no longer, because it used to be light tanks, for those who haven't been playing the game that long, light tanks used to get +3 matchmaking, so they could never see their own tier. They always at least one tier above them, so they always fight it. If it was tier 8, they always fought at least tier 9s and generally tier 10s. Now they can be top tier, and that has helped a lot of the premium tanks, because Wargaming don't like to nerf premium tanks. And while they nerfed all the regular light tanks in the game, they left things like the Girlfriend here unnerfed, because it was a premium. So as a result, when it effectively moved up a level, it was designed as a tier 8 that saw tier 10s, and suddenly it's a tier 8 that does see tier 8s. It became a whole load more effective. But it, as I say, it's not so good as a Scout. 622.59 assistance compared to 888 on the Even 90 just shows this thing is not as good as that. But it does make up for that in terms of a very good gun. It has a 90mm gun, 9.1 rate of fire, which is excellent. 182 penetration is very good indeed with its standard rounds, 250 with skill rounds, and an excellent 102 with its HE round as well. Very, very pokey. 240 average damage, even with 320 with the HE shell, which is a very viable thing to use, particularly against other light tanks. 102 penetration with an HE shell. It's going to make a mess of a lot of the light tanks you're going to be facing, particularly if you get hold of one of those Even 90s. Right mess you can make with one of those. And dispersion is very good, 0.38. Aim time is excellent at 1.8. So it's got a good gun, and it kind of makes, that kind of makes up for the other traits of this thing. The camo values, it's quite a big light tank, if that makes sense. So you're getting, what's that, 5, 6, 9, only getting about 14 concealment percentage, which is not particularly great. So it's more of an active Scout than anything else, which is good because the mobility wise is very good. 23.7 weight, 50 horsepower engine, giving a 21.1 power ratio, which is very good, and 72 top speed, nearly 64 degrees per second traverse speed, so it's nimble as hell. So it's a very nimble gun platform, and really in terms of assistance, it's probably going to be mainly doing that through active scouting. But as a result, it kind of falls down. If you're looking for a pure Scout at tier 8, then these last three probably don't fulfill that. They're more of a damage dealing Scouts than anything else. So anyway, that is number 6. So it seems to be a common theme in these charts for light tanks that the French light tanks, the AMX series, apart from the Even 90, seem to come out rather badly in terms of spotting. And I think that's largely, like I was saying with the Girlfriend, the Black Dog, a minute ago, they're really used more as battle tanks than they are Scouts, and as a result they suffer as scouting when you're looking at their scouting values. So this played a lot of games, this French tier 8 French light tank, the nearly 143,000 games in the last 30 days, only managing 607.41 assistance damage, which is a little bit on the low side. And as I say, I think it's largely down to the fact people use these things much more aggressively and take advantage of this excellent auto-loading gun. 75mm 4 shell magazine, 2 seconds between each shell, 20 for the whole clip, which is very good indeed when you consider the Even 90 was what, 30, so a third again longer, half again longer, in fact, to get my maths right. 170 pen, 210 with the skill rounds, 170 average damage, 1569 DPM. Is nothing special, but autoloaders don't tend to have good DPM. 0.38 dispersion, 2.3 aim time is not great, but these things are fantastic active roamers and pounce on the weak and the injured and just eradicate them in a shot, and that's really what they're great at. But that said, they do actually have very good camo. This thing, I've got a virtually full camo crew with camo net and paint on the thing, I'm getting 40% concealment stationary, which is 8, so 30, yeah, about 20 odd is your base camo on this thing, which is, yeah, actually not bad at all, because it is small. It's a 3-man tank after all. And view range, likewise, not bad at all either. I'm using coated optics, so I'm getting, so it's basically 380 basic view range with this thing, which is also not too bad at all. But as I say, I think it fails because it's fails as an assistance damage creator, because it probably is more active damage creator in the game, and that's fine. But you know, if you're looking for a scout, probably better to look elsewhere than the Bat-Chatillon. So bottom of the pile, the worst, statistically the worst light tank at tier 8 for assistance damage, according to VBAddicts across all servers, is the once mighty M41 Walker Bulldog, the American tier 8 light tank. This thing, at one stage, when I played a lot of started the game really, I guess, this thing was a terror on the battlefield. I used to love playing this thing, and sadly with the changes to the matchmaking, they also changed its gun. Used to feature an autoloader, which was awesome, and basically put a single shot gun on it, and I just don't think it's got anything of note at all anymore, which is a real shame. And I think, you know, you look at number of games played, just shy of 50,000 games, 604 average assistance damage a game, so 280 less than the number one in this chart. So yeah, it's really suffered. And as I say, it used to have a very nice gun. Now the gun's okay, but it's just not really up to mustard. You know, tier 8 you're going to be seeing tier 10s all the time. When it was an autoloader that you could clip, you know, circle people and clip them to death, it was one thing. This thing, 76 millimeter gun, 12 rounds per minute is very good. Only 175 pen, where you wouldn't expect much more than that. 210 with premium, but only 170 average damage, 0.38 dispersion and 1.9 aim time. So definitely, you know, nothing special. I think that's the bottom line with this thing. Concealment value 14.25 with nothing on it, which is okay. With a decent crew and a decent bit of camo on that, you'll probably get it up quite high, but it is still quite a chunky tank. It's a big ass thing. View range is outstanding, 400 meter view range. Wow, 400, jeez, which is very good indeed, obviously. And mobility is not bad at all. It's quite a nimble tank, quite lightweight, just shy of 25 tons, 800 horsepower engine, 34 power ratio and 68 top speed, 58 traverse speed. So yeah, the Bulldog suffers, well, has suffered since the patch, and that seems to be a theme in a lot of these charts, is that once great tanks kind of slip down the charts, and then I think Wargaming look at them and then they buff them and they suddenly shoot back up again. You look at the tier 8 heavies that we did a while back. The Carnarvon was once one of the worst tier 8 heavy tanks in the game. It had a considerable buff a couple of patches ago, and now is an outstanding heavy tank and is up there very high. Its stats don't lie. It's quite high in terms of performance, in terms of damage dealing, even though it has a very small caliber gun, you know, in terms of alpha. And there's other examples of that going the other way. The KV4 was once the terror of the tier 8 heavies, and now sadly sits down the bottom of the pile in terms of damage dealing. And I don't know about you guys, whenever I see one of those things I go, ooh, easy, because it's so flat. It's got so many flat surfaces. It's pretty easy to pen with pretty much everything you're going to be firing at it. So yeah, the changing nature of tanks is always there. So at the moment, tanks like the Bulldog are struggling, that is for sure. But there aren't that many tier 8 light tanks, so you know, you don't have an awful lot of choice. And if you want to get onto the Sheridan or the T49, you need to work your way through this thing. Anyway, that is our bottom of the table in terms of average spotting damage. So there you go. That is the well, the tier 8 light tanks, ranked according to their assistance damage, average assistance damage for the last 30 days, according to the excellent VBAddicts website. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Not quite so many surprises along the way as I think as some of the other tiers, but then there aren't so many tanks, so I guess that means it's fairly obvious where things are going to pan out. I did think the Even 90 might not be top of the pile, but then I thought about it and think, well, who else would there be in terms of assistance? Maybe the T92? I don't know. There aren't that many to choose from in terms of pure scouts at tier 8. But that is the stats according to VBAddicts. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. And let me know what you think down below. Were you surprised? Were you not? Next week, hopefully, I'm going to do the top medium tanks of tier 8. I've held off because of the influx of Italian tanks. Obviously, it takes a while for the stats to come through. Also, there's a bit of imbalance around, you know, tanks that are played an awful lot, and newer tech trees tend to get played an awful lot more than others, and that can push the average up or down. So I'll have a look at the stats and see what's worth doing the mediums next week, or maybe I'll move on to another and then come back to the mediums, because as I say, I want it to be more realistic, and there's a lot of people driving the Pantera out there, although it is a very, very effective medium tank by the look of it. Anyway, without further ado, I shall leave you on this bright day. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And in the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take it too seriously, and I'll see you again soon. This is Gamer Dom signing out.